Good day, and you are welcome to the Catalyst series, the productivity power up. This is the first series, and we'll be using Python and AI to solve specific real-world headaches, putting Python and AI to practical use, how we can improve our productivity each and every day. And this series is brought to you by DBS Technologies. So we'll be starting the series with our first project I'll be working on, which will be a morning briefing bot, or you can also call it a personal news and weather reports bot. So in order to get started, and we don't want to make this series very difficult, we want to make it easy for even beginners and people that had no idea of coding to be able to follow through. So we'll be using a cloud service called Google Colab, instead of going through the stress of having to install a Python IDE on your system. So you just use a Google Colab, which is very easy to use. And I believe every one of us have a Google account. So to access the Google Colab, you head on to your browser, then in your search tab you put Google Colab. You press enter and you will click on the first link you are getting, Google Colab. You can see colab.google. So once you click on it, you have this page, and then you click on Open Colab at this side. And once you click on Open Colab, then you have access this. Because I have been using Google Colab before, that's why you can see some of my recent work. But since you are just starting, you can create a new notebook here. When you click on create new notebook, you have the new notebook. So when you are just starting, this is what you have. You are just starting, this is the first page you have. Then you can click on file, new notebook in drive, open a notebook you had before, and you can even upload a notebook. But I'll be creating a new notebook. So I already have a new notebook. Then I will rename this to the name of the bot you want to create, morning briefing bot. So you can see, then you have your code cell here where you can input your code. You can also create a test cell. Let me put a test cell, then let me move up. Sorry, I have to delete this, not what I wanted. So click on this test cell and double click to edit the personal news and weather report bot. You can see there, I can decide to make it an heading by just using an hashtag there. So you move to your code cell. So now you don't need to stress yourself with having to cram codes or the rest. You provide the code where you just copy and paste it. That is what this series is about, just for you to get idea of how you can use Python, how you can use AI to improve your productivity. That is the aim of this series. So you can see that you can start coding or generate with AI. Now, because of the page we are now, you can generate a lot of solutions with AI, like just describing what you want. and just describe it, and it will generate the code for you. Then if it's having issue, you can also use AI to troubleshoot. So we call that term now vibe coding. So you can see Toggle Gemini here, where you can use AI to create your codes, but I won't use that. I already have the code I want to use, so I'll just copy and paste it here. Let me close this. So you can see this code, I have it already, then I copied and pasted it here. So you have import requests. We won't go into too much details for this. If anyone is interested in learning more, we have a course that we organize on Python where you can learn more. So this segment now, this part is for getting the weather. So example, you can use London, any city. But here I'm using Lagos because I'm in Lagos. Then you have your weather URL where you get your weather from, and the weather report you get in, then you initiate a request to the API. What you are basically using here is calling APIs. Every services that we use on the internet or even on our apps and or on the web, we have what we call API. Like Spotify that we use for playing music, it has API. API is what we use to make requests. So we have a request from API that we need to do this on this service, and it will reply and give us the results. So that's just basically what an API is, just to put it in simple terms. Then you have this for getting the news. Yeah, you notice here some comment has been added. This is just to get the first 5 headlines. You can see. Then the news category is technology. You can change this to anything you want, whether business news, whether health, science, or you can change it to anyone, entertainment here. And you can also change this, maybe if you just one you want, you can change it to 1, or you can change it to any number, but I will just stick with my 5. Then just to know what is going on in that aspect. Then you can see this dot and this semicolon here, rather. So you just, because normally if you are to take only one of those news, you are meant to have 0. 0 means just the first headline, that is 0. That is our Python start counting from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3 like that. So that is 0. But since I don't go, I want the top 5. That is why I have this, the top 5. Yeah. And you can see the category. This is the API. This is making a request to the API. Then you have this one is to print the result. This one is to make request, weather report. This one is also to make request, news data. Then that news data we need to get. This one we get a lot of news for us, but we don't need everything. We call it a fast morning briefing bot, just to give us some short things. Not we don't have time to be reading the whole news, no. So that is why we have to pick the first 5 out of it. Then we need to print our results. Print your morning briefing. You have the weather. It will print the weather reports here. This will print the news, the top headlines that we have here. Then this is called a loop, because we have 5 news we want to print out. The first 5, that is why we have this. To start from 1 to up to 5. But if there's only one I need, I don't need this for loop. I can just put my 0 here, that's the first one. Or if I need the second news, I'll put 1. Just only that one to give it the result, and then you don't need for loop. So let's run this code we have here. So you can see it's loading. If you have to connect to a section for you, so Google Colab is free, you can leave it with free. Though if you want to now run some heavy ones, you can change those things from here, change your run type and the rest. But let's stick to our series here. So you can see the result we have here now. We have the morning briefing, weather, Lagos. That is my city. This is the temperature currently. Then this is the news. This is for technology news. You can read more here. The link. The first 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is all. So I can decide to change this to business. Business. Then let's run again. You can see that we have for business now. So this is just what this series is about. So today we've been able to create a morning briefing box. Then if you can decide to say you want to add some more things, you can use this AI to improve what you add here, what you want to add. Just describe it to help you. So let's add a motivation to it, a daily motivation. And you are just okay. You open your morning bot, it gives you the weather report, it gives you summary of the headlines, and you can also generate some motivations for yourself. So I'll be copying what I have here again, everything here, up to here, copy, and I'll paste it here again. Then this section now, I would like to add a place for motivation here before I paste a briefing. So I will paste here. This for getting daily motivation. This is the API, but sometimes we say API both might be busy, so we can also use this alternative. Though this alternative they are using now, quote data, but if they are not using this alternative, you can change this one to quote.url. So once you change that, you also change for your author. But let's stick to quote data because that one might be busy, but you can use any of it. Then you need to add a place here. Print is to show the output. If you didn't include print, you might not be able to see the result of what you've done. Though we call this format is called Python notebook. So there's a way you can see it even if you don't press print using Python notebook, but you have to be pressing most of those things cell by cell. Once you press this, but that is not an ideal way sometimes. So just put print. Then we need to add a place to print and for motivation. You can see it has given us a suggestion. If you want the suggestion, you can click on it, it will help you with it. So what was suggested, I'll be printing it there. So we print the motivation, the quote, which is this, then the author, we put the author name in front. So let's run this. So you can see the result now. We have the morning briefing Lagos. So because we have business news, that is why we have this. The motivation, being in the present, means you are tuning out distractions. You are paying attention to what is important now. By Spencer Johnson. You can see that. So in just 2 minutes, just within 5 minutes, you can just get this code, just copy and paste it into your own Google Colab. Then you run it, you generated a morning briefing bot. And if you want to take it advanced, you can post it on maybe a web service where you can just open the web service, just run it, then you get this. So thank you very much for joining us on today's Tech Catalyst series, the Productivity Power Up. We will meet again next week. Thank you.